Welcome back, Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today we are down to the fifth case. This is another Nanook 915 case with the custom guard dog inserts made specifically for this case. I will try to leave, I have a discount code to the guard dog cases, inserts, and they also sell the cases as well, these Nanook cases. So if you're interested in any of this, just look at the link down below and get you a little bit off. So let's get started. We're going to try to go through these quickly. There's still a good bit left. First off, we have the Enrique Pena X Series Mula. Excellent, just a classic looking knife. Super smooth, made by Riot. Absolutely love it. Comfortable in hand. I think it's a very attractive design. I really wish I would have got one of the ones with the inlays in it, but this one will do just fine. Next up is the Real Steel Premium Phasma with the what is it? I think they call it titanium Damascus, and then you have the like a Damascus steel style blade. I don't know exactly. The core of it's in 690. This is a Poltergeist Works design. I think it's a beautiful design. It's not perfect by any means, but it wasn't super expensive for what you're getting here. Pretty cool. Action's okay. The deten's a little stiff on mine. All right, next up is the USA made knife. This is the Vehement Knives Mongrel, made by Medford for Vehement. They do some awesome fixed blade work, so I decided to pick it up. CPM 3V. It kind of fell short for me. It's very thick behind the edge, and the blade to handle ratio is pretty wonky. Just some things that kind of bug me, but mainly how thick it is behind the edge. All right. Next up, we have the Something Obscene Company J-Cape. My particular J-Cape was blasted, anodized, and fragged by Fanatic Edge. He put his Statue of Liberty finish on there. I think it looks beautiful. J-Cape is an awesome knife. If you can get in on one of their runs, he does them all the time. Would definitely pick one up. Comfortable, very comfortable in hand with this nice scoop. Very deep hollow grind right here, so it's nice and slicey. The action's outstanding. And I heard they've even got better. They make them in flipper or thumb stud. I prefer thumb stud. Another awesome knife. This is the Urban EDC and Vox collaboration F5.5. They keep on doing runs of these. I have a discount code for them. No, I don't have a discount code, but if you want to help support the channel, I have an affiliate link with Urban EDC, and if you wanted one of these, I think they're doing a pre-order right now for one with brass scales that looks pretty interesting that I might pick up. This is just an excellent EDC knife. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Love that blade shape. I love Vox designs. Just an awesome knife. All right, now we have the Millet Knives Torrent. Mine has a BGM Knives regrind on there because this was another knife that I loved, but it was super thick behind the edge with a very, very shallow hollow grind. Now it's got a nice and deep one. Super smooth action, and now it is a slicing beast. I don't know if they make these anymore. I don't know. Let me know if y'all know that, if Millet still makes these or not. Very cool knife, though. All right. Next up, we have the Sasha Thiel Officer. It looks a lot like a Strider S&G, in my opinion. But nice, comfortable ergos. He's an excellent designer. Only thing I don't love is the N690 blade steel for the price tag, and that pocket clip is ginormous. But other than that, it's smooth, it's comfortable in hand, and I love the stonewash finish on it. All right. Next up is the Tour Knives Merchant. I never reviewed this one because I had a bad taste in my mouth for this knife, and I did not want that to come out in the video just because I had to send this one back because the lock failed on me, and this right here is a severe hot spot, and every time I did a video on this, I lost 4 to 5 subscribers. So I just said, hey, let's just chalk it up as a loss and just use it or sell it. All right, next up, one that I've been enjoying a lot. This is the Kongwu Knives Teo. I just got in on his Kickstarter campaign. He's got an Axis style lock one that has a thumb deployer on it, and I'm super excited about that one because this one is awesome. Comfortable in hand, M390. That is Rockweld. I think they made sure they were Rockweld 61 to 62 if I remember correctly. Excellent action on these. Just a beautiful design in my opinion. And it's got that cool looking pivot ring. I don't know if that's etched or what, but super cool no matter what. All right, we have the Custom Knife Factory Tiger. This is a Demco collaboration. Just a wicked Tanto. Just a wicked design overall. Of course, it's stupid smooth like all Custom Knife Factory knives. So if you want a smooth knife, pick up one of their knives. I mean, every Custom Knife Factory knife I've ever touched was just stupid smooth. I think the first owner did the NO on this. I'm not sure. M390 blade steel. Cool knife. All right, now we have my Monterey Bay Knives. This is the Monterey Bay Knives OG, old guard, M390 blade steel, very classic and elegant design. This one was a collaboration between Sanford over at Monterey Bay Knives and Ray Laconico. I see a lot of Laconico in this. Comfortable. This is the full size. They also have a mini. It's one that I need to pick up. Still haven't picked it up yet. Very smooth action, snappy, and the guys at Monterey Bay Knives are just so nice. Especially Mr. Sanford. I think it's Sanford Owen. Such a nice guy. All right, next up we have another Monterey Bay Knives. This is the Slayback, the double detent one with the carbon fiber satin blade. I absolutely love this design because I love the swayback pattern, but I don't like when they kick it up too high to where it feels really awkward in hand. But this one feels normal because it's pretty straight right here, and it's just a slight kick up. I just think that's such a useful blade shape. You can get a lot of power behind the cuts with those Warney blades, especially the type of cutting I do. Very fidgety here. I loved it so much that I picked up a second one. This is the Murdered Out Cerakoted one. I think it's just outstanding. It looks beautiful in my opinion. This one's even smoother than the satin. Yep, super smooth. And it looks beautiful. And then I also showed the other day I have the liner lock version in ZDP. All right, next up we have the Monterey Bay Knives EWC in micarta. Micarta was the cheap kind, and I had to do all kinds of stuff to give it something. It was so dried out. But this one has amazing action. It's very smooth. I love that design. Double detent system on this one as well. Another Ray Laconico design. And then this one is the EDC 1.0 frame lock. Basically the same as that one almost, but in a locking manner with a flipper tab. Just a very clean, classic looking knife. Another Laconico design. Love Monterey Bay Knives, especially they got a new American made knife. Can't wait one day. All right, next up we have the Matt Diskin IDF. This is an integral, which just means that it's milled out of one solid chunk of titanium, and there's no standoffs or anything. I think it's a beautiful design made by Riot for Mr. Diskin himself. Matt's incredible custom knife maker, M390, beautiful blade shape. Overall, love the knife, excellent action, very cool. I don't have many integrals. Kind of cool to have at least one or two. All right, next up is the Riot Bishudo. This one is in the carbon fiber and the hand rubbed. I think it's just an absolutely beautiful knife. It's small, compact. It's got like a trailing point blade shape, that Quaking style. Love it. They made this one. They made burlap micarta, and I think they might have had a couple others, but they were a limited production. Not sure why, but a limited production. I don't think you can still get these. Riot Bishudo. Next up is my two Demcos, the 80-20.5. These are wearing carbidized frag pattern, Terra Tough scales. Love this. Completely transformed this knife. I know I hear a lot of people talk about the AUS 10 being, the heat treat being bad on them. I don't know about the drop point, but this one right here is wearing my third fresh edge, and this thing deburred perfectly. It's one of the sharpest knives in my collection right now. It's held an edge just fine, so I don't know if maybe it's just the drop points. I haven't really read all that, but the shark's foot, the heat treat is definitely just perfectly fine on it. I haven't had an issue. It's wearing a Casey Lynch deep carry clip, and I think that transformed as well. Then we have the 20.5 clip point, wearing some Rips Garage Tech burlap micarta scales. Now I'll tell you what, like, even though I like this feeling better, these burlap scales, they're more dense than, you know, the rest of micarta, and I find it to be a little bit more solid if that's what you're going for. Super smooth action on these, especially after you take them apart and get that gunk out of them. Very cool. And it's also wearing a Lynch deep carry clip. Love that. All right, next up is my Zeba Knives Custom S5 Mini. My particular one's wearing a BGM Knives regrind because the grind on it before was so thick. I mean, it wasn't a pleasure at all to cut with. He got it down to a, you know, decently thin edge, but he didn't want to go up too high and take off the logos and stuff like that. So I'm fine where it is right now. It's a much better slicer now. Action's okay. Detent's like really stiff on this one, but overall I love that blade profile. It's a collaboration with look, there it is right there, custom knife maker Jason Knight. Just love that. I think it's a sexy design, comfortable in hand too. Now for my Spydercos, for the most part. Well, let's go over here because the Spydercos are up top. Next up is actually a good buck. This is the buck Wyoming. And this is when Buck was still producing some good knives. S30V on this one with the Boss heat treat. I don't really like the fact that it's tipped down, but whatever. I changed it to an MX U-Gear deep carry clip. And maybe one day I'll get around to putting the clip down here. But it's a nice gentleman's carry knife, smaller knife, hollow grind. I think it's sexy. And if you ever wanted one of these, I saw just now, I got on Amazon. There's one left at eProg. I don't know where they get these from, but you can still get this. All right, next up, I think the only knife that I have a lanyard on. This right here is my Olympic Busker. This one is wearing a transparent knives regrind. Another knife that I loved a lot, but it was just really thick behind the edge. So Mr. Brian from Transparent Knives got this thing down to a nice, like 12 thousandths, I think, behind the edge, and much better. Only reason I have the lanyard on this one is because sometimes if I'm choking back like that, it just gives me something to hold on to. And why not? And it makes it easy to pull out of my case. So that is the Olympic Busker M390 sculpted. You can get these in all kinds of different flavors. This is the Semper blade. You can get the Largo, that's like a sheep's foot, and there's like 3 or 4 blade shapes. Cool smaller knife though. All right, next up we have the Ferrum Forge knives Intact. Just a cool little knife. Ferrum Forge is they're geniuses at doing flipper tabs. See how they canted it back like that? Here, take some notes. Just a cool little small folder that has that hoveback rolling detent system in there, so you can adjust the detent. I think it's N690 blade steel. I can get a 4-finger grip on it, just barely, but I like it. It's an older discontinued model from Ferrum Forge. All right, next up is one of my chop mods. This was a drop.com Gafco thresher that I did a blade reprofile chop and chopped here, and then all these where the scallops were, this had like the little scallop texture, was a hot spot for me, so I contoured it all off because it was still just a flat scale with the scallops, and I knocked all that down, so it's very comfortable in hand. I still get a 4-finger grip, and I always loved this knife because it was a thumb stud knife, super smooth, made by We For Them. This is the mass drop thresher, and I added a black Cerakoted clip to it. All right, another chop is one of my Spyderco Smocks Mini now. I love this little knife because I can get a 4-finger grip if I choke up. Even if I choke back, I can still get a 4-finger grip. It's nice and compact now. I added a MXG Gear deep carry clip. I mean, not MXG Gear, TRM. I'm sorry. Their clips work on so many different knives. I think I also may have stonewashed the blade a little bit. No, I don't know. I can't remember. But super smooth. It's wearing sharp dress knives. My Micarta that I also fixed up to fit the chop mod. Another chop I did, Spyderco Kapara. I got all the inspiration from my buddy Blade Chops on Instagram. Me and him trade ideas all the time. And when I saw him do this one, I had to do mine because I think it was just perfect size. I already love the Kapara. I already have another full-size Kapara, so I figure why not? And then it's also wearing the Genius idea from OCD for EDC. This is his, what is it? CME, Compression Made Easy. Just a basically an extended button that you can press and make it easier to press that that compression lock, especially for lefties. That's why he created it, because he's a lefty, and it was hard for him to disengage on the left side because it's a right-handed lock. And it's also wearing a 3 Rivers Manufacturing deep carry titanium clip. Love this chop mod. All right, next up we have, if I can get it out, we have the Spyderco Dragonfly Sprint Run. This one's in CPM crew wear and carbon fiber. This right here, I think, is the ultimate Dragonfly. Oh, that's what I said, Dragonfly 2. Love the blade shape. I love little big knives where you can still, it's made to where you can still get a full 4-finger grip on it. This is probably one of my favorite. The Dragonfly is probably one of my favorite, smaller knives like this. It's just an excellent knife. Good little slicer, thin blade stock, pointy tip for, doing some detail control work. Excellent back lock on these. Great little package, wire pocket clip. What's there not to love? I own, I think, 4 Dragonflies, two of the regular ones, and I think 2 of the Warnies. This one right here is my K390 Dragonfly. Excellent knife to have K390 in because you only have such a sharp blade and it's not going to dull out as quickly. I love K390. Good stuff. It's not a stainless, so it will stain on you. I added these aftermarket micarta scales that I got from Etsy, and make this knife is just as light as it was before. Love both of them, but I probably carry this one a little bit more. All right, next up we have the Spyderco Reinhold Rhino. I was at Blade Show the year these debuted, and this was the first knife I went pick up. I just thought it was such a cool looking little knife. There's some things I don't like about it. I ended up selling my first one, but my buddy, a Bama knife guy, was selling this one for a good price, so I decided to pick it up from little compression lock folder, riding on, I think it's, phosphor bronze washers, smooth action, pretty comfortable for being a little big knife. Another one I can get a 4-finger grip on. Good little thumb placement there. All right, next up is the Marcin Schleich Spyderco Techno 2 collaboration. Love that stone wash. This one, I wish I still had my Techno one, but I sold that a while back. I love the blade shape on the Techno 2. Wish they would have had contoured scales. That would have been nice. And this pocket clip, I wish it was in the middle because it's a hot spot for me right here. There's a way to fix it with Rips Garage Tech, makes a milled clip that kind of fixes it. But I put that on another knife. So this is the Spyderco Techno 2. All right, we have a Spyderco Para 3 with a transparent knives regrind. I'll tell you what, this one's in a Rex 45, and he reground this one, and it's down to like, I think like 8 thousandths behind the edge. This thing is a slicing machine, and it's wearing Subrus Knives his worker scale. It's basically like almost like a Strider-esque scale. And I know this is a love it or hate it. It's a red, black linen micarta. It just looks like it's been like, I don't know, through battle in my opinion. And then it's wearing one of my first Lightning Ando clips. It looks pretty rough right now. Lynch deep carry clip. What's there not to say about the Para 3? Good little knife. It's a decent slicer from factory, but with this regrind, whew, it's on a whole new level. All right, next up, we have the Spyderco Delica in K390, and I'll tell you what, these titanium scales, even though it adds a good bit of weight, completely transformed this knife and made me start carrying this a lot more. I almost sold this Delica, I'll tell you why in a second, but once I got these scales, at first I got the scales to put them on and sell it like that, but once I got it, I fell back in love with it and started carrying it again. And yeah, you'd have to, do it to know what I'm talking about. K390, awesome. I love it. I got tons of the K390s. My first Delica and beater, this is, and you can see I even have it clipped on the left side because I carry this as a secondary knife a lot. And this is in HAP 40, and mine's pretty scratched up. Yeah, you can see it all up here, right up there. And it's mainly because the jacket over this is a soft stainless steel. What is it, 410? I mean, yeah, 410 stainless steel, which is a soft stainless, so it gives you strength up top, and then you got your hard core at the bottom. And you can see the darkness right here from the HAP 40. Now, I wasn't super impressed with the heat treat on this. It doesn't hold that great of an edge. Close to S30V, but not really, at least on my particular one, and I've sharpened it several times, but still like the knife. All right, we have the Spyderco Gale Bradley one. I like this knife, but it's rather thick behind the edge now, I guess, because I did a pass around with it. This thing's been used and abused and tortured. It's definitely a comfortable knife, but I prefer the Gale Bradley 2 over the one. Just my preference at least, and I know a lot of other people like that too. M4 steel, I think it's still a decent looking knife. I hate this this carbon fiber. It's that cheap laminate over G10. All right, I love this one. This is a Spyderco Police 4 in K390. This knife gets used all the time for having a 4+ inch blade. It's nice and lightweight. This is the perfect package for a lightweight, because you can pack all this blade into a light package. You can see this is a heavy user for me. Anytime I got to do any extended cutting, I grab this one because K390 is awesome. Let's see. Yeah, it's still got a nice sticky edge, and I use this a good bit at Christmas time. I carry it a good bit. I need to put a deep carry clip on it because that would just make it for me. That is a Police 4. Another one of my favorites in K390. This is the Spyderco Indela. It's my favorite right now, but if I ever decide to pick up one of the K390 Stretch 2s or whatever it is, that one would probably replace this because I like having that forward finger choil that the Stretch has. Other than that, this is an awesome knife. I just find the Delica a little bit too small for me, and the Endura is also an awesome knife, but I think I prefer the in-between Indela. All right, Spyderco Sage 1 in Maximet. Excellent knife, excellent steel. If you like something that would cut for days, I use this one a lot, breaking down boxes, because it might not keep that phone book sharp edge for a while. It usually loses it pretty quick, but that coarse edge, that working edge, just stays and stays and stays. And you can already see I got some staining right here because this is not a stainless steel. It does stain pretty easily, more so a patina. Very smooth action. I like the gray, the monotone look to it. Satin is okay. I would have liked to see stone wash like they have on a lot of the other Maximet knives. think it's just a little bit more attractive. I know it's a lot harder to do because it's such a hard steel, but Sage 1, awesome, awesome knife. I prefer the Sage 1 over the Power 3. All right, an oldie but goodie. This is a discontinued Spyderco. This is Spyderco Chubby. This is a Michael Birch collaboration, S30V, with this beautiful hollow grind and a hollow grind swedge up there to match. Carbon fiber inserts there, titanium frame lock. And there's Birch's maker's mark, Taichung, Taiwan. The pocket clip left a lot to be desired, so I got this pocket clip off of Amazon. Nice little nice little deep carry titanium clip, and I think it looks way better. I had to let some of the spring out of this because it was so tight I couldn't get my pants under there, but now it's a-okay. Spyderco Chubby. All right, next up we have one of the ugliest Spydercos in the world. That is the Spyderco Rock Lobster. I got this basically for nostalgia because whenever I was first getting into the YouTube knife scene, like 7 or 8 years ago, this was a popular knife because this is a Jens Anzo collaboration. He's a custom knife maker out of Denmark, and people just bought everything that he designed. And I know I didn't know why. This just looks like it's a bad ergonomic knife, and it is absolutely terrible. This is the worst ergonomics I've ever had in a knife ever, but it sticks around right now because like I said, the nostalgia, sometimes that means more to me than anything. All right, last up, one that I chased for the longest time. It was such a hard knife to get my hands on, and that is the Spyderco Leaf Storm. I got this a couple of years back, and I was so excited to get it because it was in great condition. I ended up putting my edge on there. Look at that. Boy, that's a nice mirrored up edge right there. And I was using it quite often, but I don't know. It's one of those discontinued, hard to get Spydercos, especially hard to find one in this kind of condition. So I don't know. I may retire it. Not sure yet. Kind of weird grip on it. I think this was Spyderco's first titanium frame lock they tried out. This is a design collaboration with custom knife maker Kevin Wilkins. He was known in the knife community for his Wilkins grips, and he had some nice, beautiful customs, like this particular model right here. He has a custom version of it. So, all right, I have my Spidey pack near me, so we're gonna go through these two real quick. We have the Southern Grind Bad Monkey. This was an exclusive. I can't remember who this was exclusive to, with this blue and black carbon fiber mix right there. It looks pretty darn cool. Such a classic looking knife. I know a lot of people stayed away from this knife because it's in 14C28N. Even though that's one of my favorite budget steels, as long as it's heat treated properly, you can heat treat this up to like 61, 62. I don't know exactly where they got it. I have been testing this every once in a while when I have the chance, so I can test that out. But nice anodized blue titanium liners. It's a fairly comfortable knife. It's a big boy. This is not the Spider Monkey. This is the Bad Monkey. You can also, this right here, you can wave it out of your pocket as well. Next up, we have the Miguron. I never can remember this name. I will put it right here. I'm just finishing up the testing on this. Super smooth, very comfortable in hand. That's all I'll say for right now. M390. I'll save the rest for the review. I got this one at Blade Show. This past Blade Show 2021. I love the fact they use these G10 buttons because they're very comfortable. This is a Manticore S, I think it is. This is the little bitty one, Bowie blade shape, two-toned. It's pretty cool. I got it basically for in LMAX. I got it basically just to check out one of Heretic's knives. I'm sorry, I didn't even say that. The Heretic Knives Manticore S, Blade Show 2021. USA made company. Nice action, very comfortable. I could do this for days. And I don't know, now I want to check out one of their larger full-size models. Like I said, this one just was to remember Blade Show 2021. I try to always get a commemorative knife. Next up is one of my Benchmade bug outs wearing a transparent knives regrind. This thing already has thin blade stock, And I mean, when I say a laser beam, this thing cuts like nobody's business. Smooth action, wearing the Lotus, the Flytanium Lotus scales or whatever, contoured linen micarta scales, comfortable, super lightweight. I got the back spacer, I think from Rock Scale Designs. That kind of gives it a little bit extra rigidity. Very awesome with that regrind. All right, next up is the Giant Mouse Ace Sonoma. This is the second version in micarta. You got a wire pocket clip. I think it's an LMAX blade steel, crown spine, made for them by Riot, American micarta, titanium back spacer. Very cool knife. I showed my coated smock exclusive. This is the satin M4 exclusive smock. I love the smock design, and I was thinking about maybe doing a chop mod to one of the M4 ones, so I'm not sure. All right, next up we have a Cold Steel. This is the Cold Steel 8015 with the Scorpion lock. You know, what's there not to say? This is a super cool, innovative locking mechanism by Demco for Cold Steel. If you ever wanted one of Demco's custom knives and you couldn't afford it, this was a great place to go. You know, very high quality, made, overseas manufactured knife, and it's a big boy. It's a bruiser. All right, next up we have the Drop.com Lynx and the Eric Oakes collaboration. This is an absolute slicing machine. It's got such a deep hollow grind that comes down to a nice thin edge, comfortable in hand, good choke up position right there. Titanium hardware and pocket clip, blind screw titanium clip, milled scales, titanium liner lock. Oh, it does have a ramp. Very smooth action flipper and thumb stud deployment. RWL 34 steel, nice stone wash. I think you can still get these on Amazon. I think I saw them. So cool EDC knife, good size, good weight, great slicer. All right, we have the Artisan Knives collaboration with Subrus Knives. This is Orion with the red ruby G10, or micarta, whatever they call it. It's a pretty good slicer. Comes down to a decently thin edge. Comfortable, very thin profile. I like just a classic, your classic drop point. There's Subrus Knives stuff. Very smooth action on bearings. You can get them in different, different configurations as well. All right, next up is the Alliance Designs chisel. I think the knife is beautiful. There's some things I hate about it, but I think it's beautiful. It's decently comfortable for what it is. This is a Jeremy Marsh collaboration. Nice thin hollow grind, great slicer, but the pocket clip kills me. I hate that tip up pocket clip, and it just looks so out of place. I don't know, but I can look past it because it's got amazing action on it, very smooth action, comfortable in hand. That does not cause me any hot spots whatsoever, at least so far. Very cool knife, very expensive too, though. Two more. We have the Real Steel Megalodon. This was an Indiana Knives exclusive. Last time I checked, they were still available. So I'll tell you, I've just finished up the testing on it. It did outstanding. You got brown natural micarta, and that's pretty much what the exclusive dealt with, and basically bring the knife back. I always knew this was a good slicer because I had an original, because it's that full flat grind. But man, I did not remember it being as good of a slicer as this one was. The Real Steel Megalodon exclusive from Indiana Knives. All right, if I can remember the name, hold on. So that'll do for part 5. Y'all stay tuned for part 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all keep watching it. I'll keep bringing them. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolutely wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.